With this short introduction video, I would like to say welcome, namaste. Thank you for joining today's online seminar with the title Corrosion-Free Bearings for the Automotive Industry. My name is Sebastian, and together with me, Sunil from igus India is joining today's seminar, and we are really excited that you joined and that we will have a good seminar with a really interesting topic today. First of all, I want to say hopefully every one of you is feeling good, is in a good condition in the coronavirus times. This is the most important point. So hopefully your families, your friends, the people you know, all of them are in a good condition and feeling good. Yeah. All right. Side note, I would also like to invite you to the next online seminar. In 2 weeks' time, we will have the topic noise reduction together with igus bearings, and you're really invited to this topic as well. Let's take a look into our today's agenda. We will have a short introduction about the company, about our products, what we do. Then Sunil will give you a good overview about the corrosion topic. What is corrosion? Do we have any solutions about the corrosion topic with our bearings from igus? Afterwards, we will take a little bit more deeper look into the materials. What do we produce for bearings? What is behind the secret of Iglidure, and what are the benefits of the materials and the bearings as well. After that, we will continue with a lot of relevant applications to the corrosion topic, starting from hinges up to wipers, up to underbody applications, etc. Last but not least, Q&A. Please type your questions into the chatter. We have our team available. You can see our team on the right bottom side. The contact persons from igus India Automotive Department. We are covering nearly the whole country with automotive specialists, and this is a very important point for us. Service, answering questions, to be there for each kind of topic. So again, questions in the chatter. We are really excited to answer them right away. Let's start with the company. We were founded in 1964 by Günther Blase. You can see him here on this picture together with his wife, Margaret Blase. We were actually a garage business at this time, and he went to an automotive supplier, asked for a part he could improve because they will have some issues with, and he engineered a lot, and finally he could replace actually this part, a metal part, into an injection molded plastic part, and he reached our still ongoing topic, like he improved the technology, longer lifetime of the product of the part, and price reduction on the other hand. 13 years later, we went into the much bigger building already, couple of injection molding machines, more business was going on, and today you can see the situation from Germany. This is our headquarters from igus in Cologne, and next to this you can see igus India factory and offices. Let's take a look into our products, also here we develop more and more and more over the time, starting from only one part into a couple of divisions. We have chains, we have cables, we have harnessed solutions, we have so many different bearings. We have spherical bearings, linear bearings, covering nearly each movement you can have in applications. And today we will take a deeper look into the sliding bearings. Let's go to the topic. As we can see on the picture on the left side, I can see a pretty corroded bearing, and I would say this metallic corroded bearing will not last a minute longer. And with this, I throw the question to Sunil. Sunil, is there any solution against a corroded bearing?
Thank you, Sebastian, for nice introduction. And as far as your question concerned, for sure, I'll answer it. But before that, I would like to make understand our audience what exactly the corrosion in relation to the bearing. What is the impact of corrosion on the application in the bearing? And then I'll come to answer your question. So let us start with the corrosion. So corrosion is nothing but the natural process of destruction or degradation of material, especially is more prominent in the case of metal by chemical or electrochemical reaction with their environment. So it is a kind of oxidation that causes the destruction of the material. On the right side, you can see a picture of PTFE compound bearing. So you can see because of the corrosion that bearing has been totally damaged, and also you can see the rusting color is there. So this is exactly how's the corrosion from you can visualize from the picture. And if we try to understand in the perspective of the bearing, so it is more precise what could be a bimetallic corrosion, galvanic corrosion, or contact corrosion. So basically two dissimilar metals when comes in a contact, it causes the contact corrosion because of the some kind of electrolytic solutions is in the reaction with them. So yes, for sure it can be avoided, and I'll speak to on that on my next slides. And on the lower portion, you can see a sintered bearing, which is also again totally damaged, just like a PTFE compound bearing on the upper portion. And let us try to understand what is the impact of this corrosion on the bearing. So consider a PTFE or Teflon coated metal back bearing. So in that usually have some 30 to 50 micron layers of Teflon. And as soon as this layer goes off, there is directly metal to metal contact. So two dissimilar metals, one is a shaft, another is your bearing metal. So because of this causes the contact corrosions, and it increases the wear rate as well as the coefficient of friction of the overall system. And due to this corrosion, sometimes some particles are abrasive particles are forming at the bearing idea and between the shaft OD, and it actually burns out your metal shaft. Though it is a hardened in much hardened, but still we have seen some application where the shaft has been totally damaged. And sometimes it causes the increase the system play, higher clearance in the system, and shaking and vibrating shaft. And finally, it results into the undesirable squeaking noise. So this is the improper functioning of the application. So this is the overall impact of this corrosion on the application. So as far as application which are inside your vehicle or interior to vehicle, this problem is not that much dominant, but the applications which are exterior, underbody, this application are more prone to the corrosion. So because of this condition, water contact and high humidity demands a really high performance and corrosion free bearing solutions. So on this note, I would like to answer Sebastian's questions. Yes, we have a solution. igus can provide a corrosion free bearing. So you can see on the left side a totally damaged metal corroded bearing, and the lower portion you can see there is a rivet joint where though it has been coated, you can see a clear corrosions that can be visible from the picture. And on the right side, to answer Sebastian's question one more time, you can see igus is offering the corrosion free polymer self lubricated bearing. Since it is made up of polymer, there is no chances of corrosion at all. So we are improving the corrosion, or we are avoiding the corrosion totally. So there could be a chances in some cases your housing from metal or your shaft could be a corroded, but for sure igus bearing will be a totally corrosion free, and your application will try to be give you a more life. And on this note, if you're using any kind of brass, gunmetal, Teflon coated metal back bushings, some kind of needle bearing, all can be replaced with igus polymer bushings. So that corrosion free and lubrication free, these are the some USPs that we can offer. Now, in previous slide, we spoke about the corrosion of the bearing, but it is but obvious that corrosion is not only with the bearing. Yes, for sure, if your metal shaft is in metal, your housing in metal, it causes the corrosion of the system. So from the picture, you can visualize the system has been totally degraded, totally damaged system with color changing, everything. It can be visible, and this is really undesirable situation for the any kind of bearing application or any kind of the two moving surfaces where you need a bearing, and this kind of failure can be observed. And the second corrosion, we'll just think it as a second glance. Second glance in the sense, this is one our past experience. One bearing was failed at one of the agriculture application, and when we try to analyze the thing, we just took out the shaft, and this was the actual condition of the shaft. So it was perfectly looking at polish, no corrosion at all, nothing was there, but still bearing was failed. Then just to analyze the thing, we took out that shaft, we took that shaft to our laboratory and just kept for a few days. So this was the actual condition of the shaft after some time without any action after that. But you can see your bearing, your shaft has been totally damaged. You can see reddish color can see, and corrosion has been totally impacted your shaft. And when we scrap out this rusting part, there is a small packet which filled with this material, and you can see on the right side those shafts has been totally damaged. Some pitting marks can be observed, and this is the exact condition. So sometimes corrosion is not visible with naked eye or at the first glance, but yes, system is failing because of this kind of corrosion. And for sure, we are doing a lot of studies inside our laboratories. So we had some white papers, we had some study carried out inside our laboratory. So we can offer you or to will come to you to understand your application, so that corrosion of the system, corrosion of your shaft, housing and bearing can be avoided. And on this note, I would like to hand over to my colleague Sebastian again for the material and detailings. Sebastian, over to you.
Thank you very much, Sunil. So actually, it's a very, very tricky topic. Yes, sometimes you have the obvious, sometimes you have the more hidden corrosion. So anyways, it's definitely a very non-welcome topic for the bearing. And thank you for explaining in more detail. And now let's take a look into the materials, what we use for the bearings out of plastic, out of polymer. Actually, it's not just polymer, we call it as a tribopolymer. And this is why, and the reason for it, because we produce materials, we develop materials for applications in motion. It can be a pedal application, some kind of oscillating movement. It can be a throttle valve, up to applications like a water pump with several thousand RPMs. So that means our materials need to be like really engineered, really studied, really created on high quality side. So this is why we spend our heart of the company, the material development, with a huge amount of engineering efforts to create new compound materials. Because this is actually what it is. We call it Iglidur as a brand name, and behind this you can find a lot of different compound materials. And let's take a deeper look into the composition. So usually we have the base material out of a thermoplastic. That means we are using nearly all available materials from the market, starting from PA6, PA66, PBT, PPS, up to PEEK. All of them are in our portfolio, and then we are like strengthening it. We are adding reinforcements into it, like fibers and fillers, to make it suitable for applications, to have material answers for applications with high impact loads, with shock loads, with dirt and dust conditions, etc. Last but not least, and this is the maybe one of the most important points, the specific amount, the specific and the real solid lubricant we will add into the material to reach the homogeneous wall thickness, as you can see it here, to have a bearing material and a bearing with the same behavior, the same coefficient of friction and wear rate over the complete lifetime, because you will always have, as we can see here, solid lubricants, fibers, and the base polymer at each point of the running behavior. With these materials, we avoid all kind of scratch marks on the shaft if we compare it to a metal bearing, if this is worn out and you have the metal-metal contact like Sunil mentioned earlier. So first of all, to the benefits, dry running. We don't need additional grease. We have pretty low wear rates with our compound materials. Sunil explained the corrosion freeness, one of the biggest benefits as well. We have materials for dirt dust environments, high loads. We have materials for over 250-degree temperature. We have very low humidity absorption materials, also important for low clearance of your application during the whole year condition. We have materials, or our bearings are pretty lightweight. You can see it here. We can save 5 times or up to 7 times the weight compared to a metal bearing. Next topic for the next seminar is we can reduce the noise for your application, and last but not least, saving costs part by part. If you develop materials, you need a test lab, and this is also one of the key instruments we are using in igus. You can see it here, a pretty big laboratory. We are testing all kind of materials. We are testing all movements, oscillating linear movement, rotating movement with all the available materials. We save the results into the database, and as you can see it here, you can even go onto our website and calculate the expected lifetime of your application together with our bearing. Coming to the applications, so here on this picture you can see nearly all applications we have a solution with our bearing for, and in the yellow circle, the yellow circles showing related applications which are and can be in contact with the corrosion topic, with the water and humidity points. So let's take a little bit closer look into some of the applications. For example, the hinges. We have side door hinges, we have hood door hinges, we have tailgate hinges, fuel lid hinges, we have spoiler hinges, multi-link hinges, so many different hinges and linkages in the car. And on the orange side, you can see here marked our bearing solution for it. So always can be in contact with water. Corrosion is a big topic here, can have a huge impact for the car, for the behavior over the lifetime. And not only that we can have a bearing, we have very intelligent designs as well to save the assembly time. We call it clip solutions. We will have another seminar, and we will be here for you for technical support, for discussing about some of the solutions for sure, also in a meeting. We did a couple of corrosion tests. This is a result of one of them. So on the left side, you can see the metal bearing completely corroded flange. After 8 weeks of a corrosion test, the housing, the linkage is also corroded, but mainly it's coming, the focus is on the metal bearing. On the right side, we have our Iglidur material. This is actually a conductive polymer material. So we develop also materials suitable for the painting process. And this is what we have. We call it, for example, Iglidur RN89, and you don't see any sign of corrosion at all. There are so many more applications related to the corrosion topic. So for example, the side mirror, as you can see here, we can even replace a very classical solution, the metal ball bearing washer, into an Iglidur plastic polymer washer, saving a lot of costs. For example, for the side mirror, the wiper application very in contact with water, the door handle as well, or something like the sunroof sliders, as you can see here, classical. Even pedals can be on the outside, like for example for the tractor business, the pedals are in contact with water, so you can find our bearings in these points. We have a lot of underbody applications like the center bearing, the kingpin, all of them related to water contact, related to the corrosion topic. so many more applications we can discuss together with you, and we can have a solution with our Iglidur bearings, and always under the topic technology improvement and cost down means part price reduction, assembly cost reduction. And this is our job. This is what we want to do together with you. So thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. We are excited to answer more questions. We will be here for virtual support. We will call you. We will have time on the phone together. We can Skype, we can Teams, we can have WhatsApp. All of this is available. You can visit our homepage as well, as you can see here. And please note it in your calendars. In 2 weeks' time, we will have another seminar about the noise reduction topic with our bearings. Thank you very much.